Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenore and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Libra. If Libra is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card, this is a bonus reading. Let me just say that. This is a bonus reading for Libra. And our card is the 5 of Wands, which usually has everything to do with strife, right? Some kind of conflict or turmoil going on. Now, hopefully this doesn't involve you. Sometimes it doesn't. It's just like absolutely stuff going around or happening around you. Maybe you're not directly involved, although you could be right in the middle of it. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what this bowl of tea leaves is going to tell us tonight. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. All right, so I want to start up here. It looks like we have the cutest little spider. It reminds me of like a jumping spider. If you've ever seen, they're so little, they're so cute. We have tons of the little zebra ones around here. They're like on every screen and every window of the house. And I love them. They're so adorable. And so I see this up here, and usually like the spider would indicate to me the grandmother. That is the grandmother of the sky, kind of that Nuit energy, weaver of dreams, right? Kind of that passageway to the celestial. And so I see this, but it's very cute. And also, by the way, I don't know, do jumping spiders make webs? I kind of feel like they're ones that don't, if I remember right, but I could be wrong. So I feel like this is still that energy of that greater great, right? That kind of, the bringer of your dreamy things, you know, the visions, the revelations, communications between you and the divine, definitely still that energy, but it seems like this is at least currently in a place that feels maybe less serious, and there's more of a silliness to it all. There's kind of this lightheartedness that is rising in your being. And I wonder if this is maybe kind of your reaction to, being around these different conflicts. Now, I do believe that this has to do with maybe your work life, maybe domestic. It could be like family, spouse, significant other, having conflicts, or maybe, I don't know, maybe the kids won't stop. It's summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. The kids will not stop fighting. The house is in chaos. Everybody's being loud and stomping and shutting doors and stuff really loud. Your kind of reaction to this is, instead of letting it really kind of be internalized, you're going to be a little more lighthearted, silly. Just let it flow. If you need to kind of take your reprieve and go do your own thing and really kind of balance it out with stuff that you enjoy, stuff that feels meaningful to you. I feel like this is really that energy. And I think ultimately as well, there just seems to be this feeling of having fun and good dreams, right? I wouldn't say it's like to the level that you're living in like a rom-com or whatever. But I do feel like there's just kind of an ease to it all. Even when there are some problems arising or inconveniences, or, you know, you're being kind of confronted with other people's moods, which maybe aren't the best. Yeah, you're just kind of, you know, staying the course, doing your thing, remaining unaffected, right? And so I am happy to see this very cute little spider up here. Okay, now we also have, it looks like TE. We also have an S down here. So I don't know, maybe there's somebody named Tess in your life. But I feel like this is maybe like initials or part of a word that might be meaningful to you. Definitely. We have T and E again. So TE really sticks out. Now, maybe this is TT. If you remember TT from my readings, she's our hairless cat, my beloved companion, TT. Now, she doesn't show up in the readings anymore because, well, she's destructive. She likes to knock my things down. And it's been kind of nice to not have the interruptions. I do miss her, though, in the readings. Her purring. I know you all loved her purring so much. So maybe at some point we will reintroduce TT, but yeah, so that's funny. That could be TT. But I feel like TE, these are letters that seem important, definitely. So let's go ahead and keep turning. Okay, so it looks like I'm looking at it. It looks like it's like it says say. S-A-Y. And then we have two people who are embracing. You can see one here and then one here. And kissing down here. And look, it looks like a little bit of a smiley face. I wonder if you are in a courtship. Here we go. We have another person here. And they're hugging. Like, okay, so I feel like this almost feels like young love. I wonder if there is a flirtation. I don't know that this has been actualized, but it feels like, yeah, there's like a flirtation happening. Maybe this is at work. Maybe this is in your social life. This might even be with your spouse, right? You're going through a period of time where things are on fire. You're really in that place of like dating one another, right? I remember somebody telling me when I got married, you know, one of the things that keeps the relationship going is treating each other like you're courting one another. Even when you've been married for like 15, 20, 40 years, if you continue to court one another and not get too comfortable in the situation, it keeps a lifeblood going, right? And an excitement. Now, is it always like this? Can it always be this way? No, of course not. You know, we all go through things. Sometimes things are just obscenely busy, right? It's just a lot. Or health issues or financial issues, or, you know, you're working all the time. Both of you are, you know, off doing your thing. Well, yes, sometimes it does. It just kind of, it grinds you down, doesn't it? And you don't. You just kind of are surviving together. Or you're in a good place, but you're not really kind of courting. But then, you know, these moments happen where it's like, oh my goodness, I'm really excited to go home and see, you know, my wife, to see my husband, to see my partner. And yeah, maybe I'll bring them some you know, some of their favorite snack, or, you know, get them some flowers, or, you know, whatever it is. I don't know. I'm trying to think what would be the best offering. Just out of nowhere. It doesn't have to be an occasion or anything. But yeah, you start getting into that mode where it is leaving little love notes, and holding hands a little bit more, and, you know, this kind of thing. So I feel like there is a sense of romanticism in the air here, Libra. And so I feel that this is a good time to lean into that. I mean, really. Now, you might be saying, this is not the reading for me, Lenore. I'm not married. I don't have a partner. I don't really, you know, have any kind of crush or, you know, interaction with somebody where, you know, we're flirting or whatever it is. I mean, you may even be aromantic, right? And that's, yeah, this still could apply to you. This might be that you are courting yourself. And yes, I know, if you see my other readings, you know, I love to go on about this. It is the best relationship you'll ever have. If you start dating yourself, if you start courting yourself, wooing yourself, putting all of the energy that you might put into somebody else, but putting it into your connection with you. Now, this might look like a lot of self-work. It might look like, you know, self-care, spending some time by yourself, allowing yourself the room and ability to do the things that you love, reconnecting with yourself, you know, maybe even like sensually, right? And it could be quite, you know, overt of you going and taking yourself out to dinner, going to a movie with yourself, right? Really doing all the things that you would do if you were dating somebody. It's a fun way to live. Now, can we do it always? Yeah, probably not. Not all of us have the time to be doing it constantly, right? But once in a while, and maybe you do have some extra time. Maybe you are post work and the kids are out of the house, and you know, your spouse or whoever, or maybe, you know, they're busy, they're doing their own thing too, and you still have a good relationship, but yeah, you're gonna court yourself as well. Or again, maybe you're somebody who is living solo, you know, hopefully surrounded by some companion animals, right? I'm about that life. Don't sleep on being a cat lady. It is not a bad life to have. Despite what popular culture might tell you. Having maybe a couple cats, 1-2 cats, lovely. It is wonderful. You know, and you might be living that way as well. And good on you, because it's not bad. But, you know, I think that this is a place where it could be somebody else. It could be with yourself, the beloved, the divine, you know, all these things. There's love here though. And it feels exciting. It feels enthralling. And also really, I think, is pulling you away from the conflict. You know, I think that you even forget that maybe that there is any kind of conflict happening as soon as you are out of the room, right? So not a terrible place to be in. Now, we also have the sun right there. And so definitely a feeling of, well, it's like there's just a clarity in all of this. Okay, it's like if you've ever had any kind of grieving, depression, melancholy, maybe you have, you know, like seasonal affective disorder or something, right? And here's the thing about getting into those modes. into the depressions, and now grieving's a little different because you usually know why you're grieving. But now it could be like years later, somebody has passed, you've grieved, and then, 15 years later, it starts to get to be around their anniversary of maybe their birthday or their passing, and you start to feel kind of icky or slower, or just you want to be by yourself, you want to sleep a lot, whatever it is. And you don't really know why until it hits you and you're like, oh my gosh, what's the date? But this is the thing about kind of sinking into these places, is that you don't notice it at first. It just starts to come on. And maybe you are a seasoned veteran of, these emotional states. And so, yeah, maybe you do see it a little bit earlier than maybe you did at the beginning. But it feels like you get into this place, it gets very murky, kind of foggy. If you could think of just like a gray day on a fall afternoon, right? And it's just, there's fog, it's thick, it's, it feels damp and heavy and all that, okay? And then suddenly one day you start to rise out of it. Suddenly the sky is blue and the sun is out and everything is illuminated and bright and beautiful. And you think, my goodness, have I been depressed? Like all of a sudden I'm feeling like I'm seeing everything a little more clearly. I'm feeling things more deeply. I'm not as anxious or put out by little inconveniences. I'm just kind of going with the flow of things. It feels pretty good. I feel like this is kind of, where it's been for you. Like there is this feeling of, yeah, I'm not going to be involved in all that chaotic, conflicty, raising of voices, everybody in a bad mood. I'm going to walk into this other room and suddenly it's like, the sun is high in the sky and everything is kind of serene and lush and beautiful. And I'm going to go that way. And I feel like that's really, part of, these emanations of love that are very potent in your life right now. And so lean into it. That's what I say. Lean into it. Now, we also have, it's an X. We have an X right there. We have an illuminating light. We have a tooth. We have a person carrying a bird. So I do feel like there's a message here. And I feel like this is a reconnection maybe with somebody from the past. It could be an ex. I mean, really, this is the ex. It's like very obvious. This is your ex. No. This is your ex speaking. No, I feel like it is kind of maybe somebody from the past, okay? And I feel kind of coming into a place where, you like maybe bump into them or they reach out or you're on the social media machines together or whatever it is. And there seems to be kind of this, like a revelation where maybe you kind of blamed yourself for things not working out, or, you didn't see kind of like what happened with the situation. Maybe you kind of fell out of love or interest or whatever. But I think coming back into space with them, it becomes really clear kind of, it was more circumstances than anything personally. Okay. And I think that, with the tooth, I'm thinking, there can be a feeling of loss of control. So I feel like it's like things just got out of the control of probably both of you. And it just led to kind of a dissipation of things. And so I feel like this is kind of you know, a situation where you just really, there's closure. There's a real sense of closure happening. And I think that you're really at peace with that. It seems like the cherry on top of things. Like, you know, maybe if this happened a month ago, a few weeks ago, it would have been maybe kind of destabilizing, right? You maybe would have really been in your feelings about it and lamenting, seeing them, or, you know, just kind of obsessing over it, going over it in your head. And this time and this moment of kind of encountering them there, yeah, it's kind of like, cool, I'm glad they're doing well. And, you know, I see now that this wasn't like anything I did or they did. It just kind of, it didn't work out, and that's fine, you know. And so I wish them well, you know, ultimately. And that's a wonderful feeling to be in when you encounter somebody from the past, right? It just kind of, you know, put a little bow on it and let it go. All right, so we have the Whispering Woods and the Woodland Wardens over here. So I'm going to do one from each deck. This is kind of different than how I usually do the oracle or affirmation cards. And we're going to see how it works out. Okay, so I'm going to flip through and stop where it feels right. And it says, renew. Nature continuously renews itself year after year. Okay, growth, dissipation, decay, and regrowth. All right, let's go ahead and we'll flip through and we'll stop where it feels right. And it says, the snail and the huckleberry. Trust in the invisible. Trust in the invisible. So we have to renew and to be reminded of the seasons of life, of the cycles of life, and to trust in the invisible. And to me, what this comes down to is knowing and trusting in that the universe will show up for you. The universe will always provide. If we understand it or not, if we're going through a period of things falling away from our life, it feels like everything is kind of coming to an end, and, you know, not everything, but some things coming to an end. And that can be hard, but we have to trust that the universe has a plan, right? That everything is happening for some reason. Maybe we have to apply some kind of meaning, but it is happening, right? And so, yeah, there will be renewal. There will always be renewal. And yeah, it's hard to think about that when it's happening, but it's true. It is always true. All right, Libra, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I would love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Definitely shout it out. And yeah, other than that, I hope that you have a most wonderful day, most wonderful night, wherever you are, whenever you're watching this. And yes, I love you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk in a couple days. Bye-bye.